Hi guys, I am in Lagos at the Eko Atlantic sales office where we are going to be getting an inside view on the process of the building of the amazing Eko Atlantic, and I am joined by the PR and marketing exec of Eko Atlantic, Valentina Halim.
Hello.
Hi Valentina, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. So, you know, I'm here to kind of find out a little bit more about Eko Atlantic, and we are at the Eko Atlantic sales office and we're in this gallery. So I guess what I want you to do is just kind of give me a run through of, you know, all the different pictures that we're seeing here.
Okay.
And I'm just going to ask you a few questions, but later on we'll get a little bit more in depth.
Sure.
So I guess first things first is, what exactly is Eko Atlantic?
Well, Eko Atlantic is a land reclamation project. So
Okay.
what we're doing is reclaiming 10 million square meters from the Atlantic and building a city on it.
Okay.
Now, the reason this project began in the first place is to serve as a permanent solution to the erosion of the bar beach that had been occurring over the years.
Okay.
Back in 2005, half of Amado Bello Way was eaten away by the Atlantic.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is restoring the land back to what it was in about 1905, 1906. And on that original shoreline, we're building a seawall that will stand 8 meters above sea level to protect the two cities, which is Eko Atlantic and Victoria Island.
Okay, so this is, right over here, I can see in your gallery you guys have, are these the stages, the different stages?
Yes, these
okay.
are the different stages. So this is an aerial shot of the land that was reclaimed. I think this is 2010.
Okay.
And then right now, I think at this point it was at 1.8 million square meters.
Okay.
Now what has been accomplished so far is 5.18 million square meters of land reclamation.
Wow.
Which is just above 50% of our target, which is 10 million.
Okay.
So by 2017, the entire 10 million square meters would have been reclaimed. This is a cross-section of the seawall. Taking some measurements.
Yeah.
That is
The construction
the
process.
construction of the seawall.
Yeah.
That's for land reclamation.
Okay.
So the dredger goes out about 20 plus miles to get the sand, and
Yeah.
then it comes and pumps it out, which is what you're looking at here. And this is just leveling of it.
Okay. And where do they get the sand from?
From the seabed. It goes out 20 plus miles, harvests the sand from the seabed and brings it back, pumps it out. So it pumps out the combination of sand and water.
Wow, that's amazing. So Valentina, I can see here these are actual models of what the future Eko Atlantic will look like.
Well, we call them artistic renditions of what the city would look like.
Okay.
Once it's completed.
That's a very political, like artistic rendition.
But they are artistic renditions of what it will look like. Like for instance, now this is a cross section of the business district, where you have iconic towers. Now, the way Eko Atlantic is being designed is for mid to high-rise buildings.
Okay.
So that's why in the pictures you see mid to high-rise buildings in Eko Atlantic. Eko Atlantic is also going to be a self-sustained city in the sense that it will have its own private power generation, water distribution systems, sewage disposal and all. And we call it Africa's 21st century city. So you're not going to be, it's not reliant on the national grid for its services. It's one of a kind.
In terms of investors though, have you found that most of the people investing are Nigerians or are they foreigners?
No, most of our investors are actually Nigerians. Wow. It's a mixture of companies and also individuals.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It's amazing.
I should come with you to have a little look. But I think I might have to go down there and have a look myself.
Yeah. Buy yourself some property.
Yeah. Amen.
I know, right? Amen.
Claim me. Well, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back after this.
How have you been able to encourage and convince people that Eko Atlantic is safe?
First and foremost, you've got to remember that this land existed 100 years ago.
Dedicated to people, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Welcome back. It's now time to see Bonale's discussion with Mr. David Frame from Eko Atlantic. Let's take a look.
Hi guys, so we are on our way to the Eko Atlantic site and I am sitting down in the car. I know, very strange to be shooting in a car, but I am with Mr. David Frame.
Hi everybody. Welcome to Eko Atlantic sales office. In fact, we're just leaving right now.
Yes, we are just leaving right now. So I guess, Mr. Frame, it's such a great opportunity to be able to sit down with you and talk to you about the vision behind Eko Atlantic.
Yeah.
And I guess that's my first question. What is the vision behind Eko Atlantic?
Well, first and foremost, it's really a project which is designed to protect Victoria Island.
Yeah.
Those of us who are around in previous decades will remember the numerous occasions when Victoria Island was swamped by an ocean surge. And it reached a stage in 2005 that the sea had actually reached the edge of Amado Bella Way, the road we're about to drive down now. Mm-hmm. And it threatened the very existence of the island.
Yeah.
And over a period of a few years, we put together a strategy on what can be done. We built the shoreline protection to protect Victoria Island from an imminent flooding.
Yeah.
And we started physically filling the site of Eko Atlantic in 2008, or late 2008.
Okay.
So realistically, we've only been filling or backfilling the sand since 2009 or early. And the concept is to restore the coastline to what it was before the erosion started.
So this, where we're driving on right now, has been landfill.
All reclaimed land. The sea had reached in 2005 to the edge and even undermined part of Amado Bella Way. So
Yeah.
all the land you see here is all reclaimed.
Reclaimed. Wow. In terms of numbers, what's the population figure you're thinking Eko Atlantic will have?
Well, the city has been designed to accommodate 400,000 people.
Okay.
250,000 of those will be permanent residents.
Okay.
And we project another 150,000 will be commuting on a daily basis for employment.
Okay.
So round figures, 400,000 people.
Okay, well that's helpful to the city of Lagos. All right, let's go. We're gonna go outside now where we're gonna go through the Eko Atlantic site, and Mr. Frame here is gonna tell us a little bit about, the processes of creating the seawall. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
We built the marina in the southwestern corner.
Okay.
That is 300 meters in diameter, or in American speak, that's 1,000 feet
Okay.
across. So it's quite wide.
Yeah.
It can accommodate up to about 300 vessels, and it will form the major part of the touristic part of the city. And that is linked by a canal that connects with the canal that runs through here where we're standing. And that continues all the way down to the east and out to sea.
Okay.
So you can actually come into the city of Eko Atlantic by water.
Wow, that's great. And that again is probably going to ease transportation and traffic as well.
Absolutely. In fact, if you go back over the decades, I remember quite clearly in the 80s, when you go down to Marina, particularly in the morning, coming to work, you will see literally thousands of people coming down from ferries, which are connecting as far away as Badagry in the west, Ikorodu in the north.
Yep.
23% of the state of Lagos is water,
Yeah, and we're not using it.
and we're not using it.
I'm curious to find out, how have you been able to encourage and convince people that Eko Atlantic is safe? Because when I first heard about it, I'm not gonna lie, I was completely, I was just like, what? It's on water? And a lot of times there's, as Nigerians, and it's unfortunate to say, there's that Nigerian factor where we almost don't trust what it is that people are building. We're like, is it gonna be safe? So what are the strategies and methods that you've used to make sure that people understand that this is safe? What we're standing on right now is not gonna cave in.
Solid ground.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, you've got to remember that this land existed 100 years ago, or slightly more than 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So the erosion removed this level of sand, but the formation is still solid.
I see what you're saying.
And what we're doing, we're just replacing the land that was lost.
How is this seawall actually really going to prevent a surge from happening? Because the ocean is really powerful.
dedicated to people, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Can you just explain to us what we have around us here?
This will be where all the commercial business activity will be taking place,
Okay.
particularly in the financial sector.
Okay.
Either side of us there will be high-rise buildings, 30, 35 stories.
Okay. Okay.
Hence the similarity with Fifth Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
But the avenue itself is 60 meters wide.
Yeah.
It's designed to accommodate 4 lanes of traffic in each direction.
Okay.
And obviously traffic will move very rapidly
Yeah.
and efficiently throughout the city.
Okay. So is this the actual road that we're standing
This is
on?
the road we're standing on.
Oh, okay. I'm a bit curious to find out what these structural layouts are on the
Yeah.
right side.
Now bear in mind that there's going to be a lot of people moving around
Yeah.
within this part of the city. So we have extra wide sidewalks, as Americans would say.
Oh, so these are sidewalks.
These are sidewalks.
Wow.
And these concrete strips that you see are just to create a more pleasing aesthetic view.
Okay.
In between these concrete strips will be paving slabs. These are half-meter square precast concrete paving slabs. And these openings that you see
Yeah.
are for trees.
Wonderful.
And then behind us you see the lighting poles.
Yeah, I can see that you already have them up, going up.
When we've completed erecting the poles, we come down round with our machine and we put the lighting fittings
Okay.
and we will illuminate this strip.
Okay.
So this is going to be the centerpiece of all the financial
All
activity.
the financial activity. We are now at the Seawall with Mr. Frame, the MD of Eko Atlantic. So behind us, Mr. Frame, can you just explain to us what this process is? I mean, there's so many rocks here and hopefully it's going to protect the water from coming back in. Can you just explain to us the process?
Yeah. Now below our feet, we have a pyramid of rock which goes all the way down to the seabed. And to protect that rock core, we put rocks which range between 1.5, 3 and even 5 tons.
Okay.
So you can see these rocks here. These are what we call the secondary armor layer. They protect the face of the wall from the ravages of the ocean.
Yeah.
In front of those, we put these Aqua Pods.
Okay.
Now, these are precast concrete elements of a very particular shape, and they're designed to lock together. So they act in unison, not as individual units.
Yeah.
And they weigh 5 tons each.
5 tons.
Now, we need 104,000 of these blocks to construct the entire wall of 8.5 kilometers in length. And we've cast so far about 40,000. And we've put in place about 36,000.
Okay.
So it's an ongoing structure. We are at an intermediate stage here. Here we are at 7.5 meters above sea level.
Okay.
The final crest level
Yeah.
is 8.5 meters above sea level.
Okay.
That's already 4.5 meters above the highest point in Victoria Island today.
So no flooding.
You will have no flooding. This already, Eko Atlantic is already secured the protection of Victoria Island
Wow.
for forever.
So, Mr. Frame, you took us away from that seabed, and this is a more advanced version of the seawall, rather.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you just explain to us a little bit how, I mean, you have the Atlantic Ocean right behind us. How is this seawall actually really going to prevent a surge from happening? Because, you know, the ocean is really powerful.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, you have to understand that the structure, the design of this seawall is a prototype revetment.
Okay.
It's a classic design that's been used in numerous projects around the world,
Yeah.
thousands literally.
Yeah.
The only advanced stage of that design is about 40, 50 years ago, these Aqua Pumps were
Yeah.
developed.
Okay.
Now the advantage of these is that because of their shape, they link together, they work in unison.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier.
If they were just individual rocks, they would have to be 4 times more heavy than these.
Okay.
So that's the only advance really in the design of a revetment. So it's a well tried and tested structure.
Yeah. So, Mr. Frame, where do you see Lagos, though, in the next 10 years?
Well, Lagos and Eko Atlantic in particular,
Yeah.
I will see a bright new modern city.
Yeah.
A place that people will aspire to come to and to live and work in.
Okay.
And to quote President Clinton, who came here to be part of a celebration for the first 5 million square meters, he said he truly believes that countless numbers of people will be coming to visit this new city.
Yeah. Well, I completely agree with you. I mean, thank you so much for taking time of your day and showing us Eko Atlantic. I mean, it's an amazing, amazing project. And guys, that's pretty much it at the Eko Atlantic land site in Lagos. You guys have seen all the inside details and gotten a behind the scene look on what Eko Atlantic is going to look like, hopefully in the next few years. All right, guys, we're going straight back to the studio.